I've been well trained.
No.
in
You
my
don't
act.
have to
Final.
carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
There is no try.
Hello and welcome to the Chance Cube coverage of the 2018 World Championship for Star Wars Destiny. My name is Todd, and in this video we'll be watching a battle between Ian on the left running Elite Maz, Elite Obi-Wan Kenobi, and on the right, Michael running Elite eEzra, Elite Sabine. Both of these decks running a high-cost character and a low-cost character. Both of these decks very well represented in the current meta, being able to do some quick burst damage to take out characters early and often. Both of these decks are running the exact same battlefield, the Outer Rim Outpost, allowing you to gain a resource and draw a card. Hopefully digging through your deck if you need to in order to get the cards that you've been hoping for the entire time. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Maz have a 20 health start. Sabine eEzra having an interestingly 18 health start. Sabine eEzra, even though it is super powerful, runs a very low amount of health in the deck. That's one of the reasons why I've always been a little hesitant to run that. eEzra tends to die very quickly, gets knocked out sometimes even round one. We actually saw this particular deck in an earlier video that the Chance Cube had for the World Championship, where eEzra did get knocked out turn run due to an Aura Sing and Talzin rolling some wicked damage. So it should be interesting to see if eEzra can survive more than one round this time. On the other side, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi and Maz Kanata. Maz Kanata does have that one extra health. Obi-Wan also having an extra health, and then Obi-Wan being able to activate and give shields to either himself or Maz Kanata. Basically means that each round that this game goes, you've got an additional health on the Obi-Maz side to have to deal with for the Sabine player. However, Sabine can roll out easily, and even just with a single upgrade can end up doing 9 damage without the ability for Obi-Maz to mitigate any of that. In your opening hand, the Sabine player is definitely looking for at least one ambush weapon that they can try to get into their discard pile. I have seen some Sabine eEzra players playing Quick Draw, which lets you play a card from your hand and basically get Sabine's activation without having to interact with your discard pile. Sometimes it's a little bit, I wouldn't say better, but it is a different way to do it to kind of surprise your opponent. Then over on the Obi-Maz side, he is probably going to be looking for some upgrades to be able to get on Obi-Wan early on. Interestingly, both of these decks not using their support characters to carry a lot of upgrades and weapons. You're mainly looking to put those on your main character, get them out, get the damage, and move on. However, Maz, with her ability, even if Obi-Wan dies, Maz can then take those weapons, and if she gets that focus on the roll-off, being able to focus those upgrade dice into some major damage and being able to do that damage without the possibility of mitigation. Where on the other side, if Sabine were to be knocked out first, then eEzra would have a much more difficult time to be able to get out and would not have the ability to get unmitigatable damage. For those of you who have watched previous iterations or previous videos here, you may have noticed that I am getting much better at pronouncing the word unmitigatable. I'm getting there. All right, so both of these players have their opening hands and are ready to get going into the game. I think both of these players, because the battlefield is the same, I believe that you want to take your opponent's battlefield. Whoever wins the roll-off, take the opponent's, get your shields, get that extra health, especially for the Sabine eEzra player, who it looks like did win the roll-off. And yep, called it. Perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. We do see a running interference and a Shoto and a Vibro Knife in the Obi-Maz player side, so he's pretty happy. Gets the Shoto out first. Looks like he's going to be wanting to get those shields on Obi-Wan to, in a way, pre-mitigate the damage from Sabine using shields. He does put out the running interference as well, possibly hoping to prevent Sabine from activating one round. But we'll see what he ends up doing. Rolls in the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Although since running interference does have to be discarded, I'm guessing that he's going to save that running interference for just the perfect moment so that he doesn't lose anything. The Sabine Maz player obviously getting that hidden blaster in the discard pile so that Sabine can activate and be able to do some quick damage and burst damage down on the Obi-Maz player. Obi-Wan now sitting with a shield. Ooh. I just watched just was at a tournament earlier this week and saw Obi-Wan Kenobi rolling out with 2 Shotos and his ability each round. Just 3 shields around, 3 additional health that his opponent had to go through, and that can be a major disadvantage for any deck. So while Sabine can do some quick burst damage, it is not easy for her to be able to knock out 10, 12 damage in a single round. Usually we see between 6 and 8 damage coming from a Sabine eEzra player in a quick fashion that way. So Sabine getting the Hidden Blaster out, removing that Obi-Wan's shield. Hidden Blaster going to be a pretty clutch card if he can continue to overwrite the Hidden Blaster on other dice. Oh my goodness. We just saw a huge roll from the Sabine eEzra player. By my count, holy cow, 8 damage round 1 without the ability to mitigate. Obi-Maz already way down on his damage. Whoa, that's gonna be a tough thing to get rid of that damage as quick as possible. Maz focusing some dice. Sabine eEzra, while fast, runs out of stuff to do pretty quick. And we have a dead eEzra first round. Oh, we were just talking about that, guys. So eEzra being knocked out first round. As we saw in a previous game here played at Worlds, that is not a death knell for the Sabine eEzra player. eEzra really is there as a support character. He is a little bit superfluous. You can absolutely win games without eEzra being there. His ability to roll those +2 damage sides, as we just saw, was a huge bonus for Sabine. Being able to get extra resources and steal resources from your opponent is nothing to be laughed at. So if you can keep eEzra alive, awesome. If your opponent can just knock out eEzra first round, they're probably going to take advantage of that to get rid of the potential +4 damage on eEzra and the loss of resources from his special. Sabine rolling out, getting an additional X8 sniper on top of the Hidden Blaster, rolling out, not quite getting exactly what she needs, but she is showing 3 damage, which is, while it's not enough to take out Obi-Wan Kenobi, it definitely is enough to make him sweat a little bit. So, now, we do see an easy pickings, getting rid of both Sabine dice, who happen to just roll the shields at the same time. While easy pickings is a very powerful card, there are some times when your opponent can just see it coming and can just do the perfect stuff to prevent it from going off. I particularly remember a Talzin player who rolled a 2 range and a blank, used her ability to focus, and just turned to the 1 range in order to avoid the easy pickings. Unfortunately, of course, nothing the Sabine player could have done to avoid the easy pickings, but you know what? Props to him. We did get some removal on the Sabine eEzra player's side to get rid of one of the 3 melee damage on Obi-Wan Kenobi. He did roll a 3 and a 3 for 1, so Obi-Wan definitely able to do some damage even without the Maz focus. But the Maz focus definitely helping in this particular case to make it so he didn't have to pay that extra resource to get that damage. So Sabine is probably going to be claiming a lot more often than Obi-Maz at this point. Just not having to roll in eEzra anymore is going to make the Sabine player way faster. Her ability to roll in, and if she rolls nothing but damage, she can literally complete her entire turn as far as activating and resolving dice in the first action of the game. Still not seeing the running interference used just yet. Not really sure it's completely needed at this point. Not quite. Although I definitely think that Ian is going to be looking for those ancient lightsabers or force illusions as quickly as possible through his deck. If he ever gets the ability to claim, he's probably going to be digging for those cards to try to keep Obi-Wan Kenobi alive. Obi-Wan is down to only 2 actual health left with an extra shield, so we've got 3 damage that needs to be done. Sabine has 3 dice on her right now, both of her character die and the X8 sniper that can each do 3 damage by themselves. So Michael overriding a hidden blaster with another hidden blaster to get rid of the shield, and then he did use the override ability for that, then plays a holdout blaster instead of the other hidden blaster, maybe hoping to make sure that Obi-Wan Kenobi, so that she has the ability to get rid of that shield again. And she rolls 5 dice, 3 of them showing damage, is able to knock out Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this is exactly, once again, Sabine doing Sabine things, just getting lucky on the rolls. Not a bad thing. That's part of what this game is. It's a dice rolling game. All right. Maz Kanata getting an heirloom lightsaber on her for 3 resources. This meaning that Ian potentially can roll out Maz, deal 3 damage before Sabine can do anything, and then possibly in the next action claim the battlefield, basically turning this into a very quick-rounded game. Each round is going to last not very long. So Michael rolling, re-rolling, trying to get the extra damage, seeing if he can knock off Maz. Both of those dice have the ability to do it. He does have the X8 sniper out in the field. Oh, but he gets hit by the easy pickings. Ooh, goodness. If that holdout blaster had rolled any damage at all, he probably could have used the X8 sniper's ability to focus using by spending resources. X8 sniper is extremely powerful when it comes to the focusing and being able to, instead of re-rolling, just spend money. If you have the money, spend the money, and just getting the damage on the on your opponent. So I believe this is the top table for day 1A. So both of these players being undefeated on the day, doing some excellent work today. As we can see, both of them knowing their decks extremely well, being able to roll and re-roll and get out as much as they can. Oh, we do see a hasty exit come through, removing the 3 damage side on the heirloom lightsaber. Ian claiming, getting the resource and drawing the card. Probably still trying to look for those ancients and force illusion if he can get to them. We're seeing I think I saw an overconfidence, which is a spot of blue character, so he definitely doesn't want to keep that. On Michael's side, couldn't quite see what he had, but with 3 weapons on Sabine, we've got 5 dice shown that have at least 2 damage sides each. All the upgrades having 3 damage sides. Maz rolling in, just not hitting it. And he easy pickings to add a little bit of insult to the injury of rolling the blanks. Oh, it's hard sometimes. I definitely understand that. Maz just not cooperating during this top table round. But both of these players being undefeated, both of them, no matter what, will be going into day 2. Congratulations to both of these players, Ian and Michael, both going into day 2. However, Michael will be going undefeated. Ian just having that 1 loss. Both of these players are going to be in excellent position. And Michael showing off his Sabine card. Yes, Sabine. Sabine is the queen of damage for sure. She can just roll for days. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video on this coverage of the 2018 World Championship for Star Wars Destiny.